Peace, 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 and greed. Oh, y'all ain't seen me in a while, huh? Give honor to source, give honor to the ancestors, known and unknown, all those that came before us. Oh my gosh. First and foremost, I just want y'all to, let me tell you, have you loved on yourself today? For those of you, oh my gosh, it's just like, it's been a while since I did. I know y'all miss me. I miss me too, but I'm not missing because I'm right here. I'm present. I am the gift. So are you. I just had to remind you, you are the gift in the present. Oh my gosh. Let's pause for a minute. Let's have a seat. Let me get my spoon. This is just, the way things is now, it's not really about anything being really prepared because we've been ready since fetus, since the cosmos. But in that, okay, am I the only one that's like, somebody help me? I kind of feels like somebody's watching me. But anywho, all jokes aside, man, for real though. This video is gonna be very different. And if y'all hear music in the background, I do not own the rights, whatever, but okay, anywho. Shout out to you, man. I know he's been trying. This video is gonna be a dedication, or more importantly, empowerment to those empaths, those healers, those herbalists, those that know the importance of trying to stay neutral in these moments. Not to mention we having a pole shift. You know, I'm not gonna dive too deep and get into depths about a lot of things astrology wise or just that, but no, I felt this urge to tell you, that healer, that shadow worker, that dark light being, that I just want to give a shout out to you for real though. I just came on here to really let you know that what you're doing is not in vain. Your journey's not in vain. Who you are, what you've accomplished, your life is already successful. Simply by getting up, breathing, simply by getting through the first 5-10 minutes of your day. That's successful. That's amazing. And in that, I want to give a shout out to an amazing mother. You know who you are. To all the amazing mothers, but especially amazing mother that I know, that a lot of things we can just assume as men who represent the patriarchal, who also carries the feminine energy, you know, both masculine and feminine energies. I'm learning now to really have and hold a space of grace, compassion, and a limitless love for all women. Having seen just how consistent, persistent, just miraculous, magical you are as women, to process, to even attempt, even though love wasn't shown to you, to even attempt to love yourself, birth child or children. And yet, no one can tell me that women aren't superior when it comes to just how they do this shit, yo. I mean, this lifetime, let me tell you something. I'm in the masculine body, or I may have reflected patriarch, but let me tell you something. Let me turn this down. Let me tell you something. let me get back to this. Let me tell you something with spoon in hand. Wow. There are no words to express. Like, I can see what Tupac was saying. There are no words to express. Like, there's no amount of money. There's no amount of anything materially that I can possess that can amount to the love that a woman has. Not only for herself, not only what was given to her, but also you're talking about the way that she can love her child. And sometimes I can't even see how they can go through all of these motions. And I get it sometimes where they don't even see reciprocation. I feel like, and I can't say all women, but those who are empaths, I love you. You are amazing. Doesn't matter what culture, everyone is going through something. But women that are empaths, because I feel like women transition, like they really go through a metaphysical or something that cannot be put into words when they bring forth a child. And it's so much wrapped around that, because you're talking about them still trying to process, themselves still trying to process the world, give back to themselves, pour into themselves, and they're asked not to be there for themselves even after bringing forth a whole nother being. And this can be perceived in a lot of ways, but man, oh my gosh, there is no amount of anything materialistically that can be, and I tell people all the time, a nation can rise no higher than its woman. And I'm just in utter amazement of how women of all cultures, seeing both sides, because those that do know me, because it's just an authentic moment, is that those that do know me or have known me, it's like, not everyone knows that I have a princess. And I just feel like a lot of what I've experienced, having seen her come here, having seen her mother go through the transitioning, having to see from my experience, psychologically, mentally, trying to process things, because again, people will see someone as, okay, he's this or he's that, but when they see her mother, people will classify her mother as Caucasian, white, whatever. But I don't get into depth of that, because it's what I can't convince anyone of my experience with her and what we have sat down and what we have experienced in what they call America, or just what they call in a land where you have these narratives pushed so much. What she has to process mentally as a woman, being, how the world is so focused on colorism, or how it even is to have a child who is a different shade, and how so many people can classify, judge, or pass judgment, and not willing to get to know who I am and her, and just the mental awareness and everything centered around to just have the courage to just co-create with someone, try to emotionally connect with them, coming from two demographics or different cultural backgrounds. But in essence, what I can really say is this is the bigger picture, the grander picture of it all, is how the universe, or source, or Big Mama per se, the divine feminine, has orchestrated all of this. Because as I would tell people, I wouldn't ever teach, I didn't care if who I met was purple, blue, black, or green. I wouldn't ever teach someone not to like someone, not to accept someone due to their preference of what they feel is acceptable, whether, it's their color, their gender, anything like that. I'm not here to debate stuff like that. because I look at things from the depths of how we're all connected, how pain can connect us, how certain things have connected us, where we can meet people at a lower level, or meet people in a place of so much things rooted in fear, abandonment, yada yada yada, and not realizing what is one here to heal. What am I being called to heal? And acknowledge, even in the reference to the feminine. It's a challenge in itself for someone to tell me who it is and how it is I love myself, and who it is I could emit love to, and express my love and gratitude. Being that I had a mother and grandmother, and this is definitely going to get on the topic of a lot of empaths, or a lot of people and men who go through a lot of, and I'm going to tell you from my experience, man, because it's deep. Being the environments that I have grown up in as a child, again, I don't know what racism or hatred or all these things that, again, we've all suffered since childbirth, or since coming from the womb of our mothers. For one thing, it was very challenging for me because I tell people all the time is that if there's anything a man is seeking and trying to find in this world mentally, is a peace of mind. Not only peace within himself, but peace of mind, peace within. So on my journey, being from my childhood and what I have learned, my imagery of what I perceive a woman to be began. I've had this talk with women that look like me per se. And through that distortion and through the learned behavior, I learned a self-hatred, not just for myself, but I learned a self-hatred for women that, again, look like me, and didn't matter really what other women that really came along my path. I was just knowing that I was deserving, because I learned myself now to be an empath, and learning more how to be in tune with the feminine, and learn how I am here to help bridge, no matter what culture, creed, into people uniting in a way, or willing to sit down and realize how much you are connected, how much ancestrally, when you really learn about who it is, that where you come from, and certain people are lighter shades, if this person didn't meet this person, and certain things as such. So in that, again, my upbringing, because again, we all as men hold an image of the feminine in our minds, whether we want to see it or not. No, this is where you see a lot of wounded men, because of their first love or experience with love was that of their mother or grandmother, or whatever reflection of the feminine principles that they receive, the nurturing and being embraced and loved. And a lot of us didn't receive nurturing, being embraced and loved. So that being said, these are a lot of pivotal moments where, again, a lot of my relationships looped or continue to look the same, because of being how, even up to this moment, how it's divinely orchestrated. That was just a point in my life to where I knew I deserved a love that was not of how we all have been affected by the distortion of what the divine mother isn't. The toxic and distorted mother, which we, again, as men, or men of my shade, and a lot of which had changed over time through that self-hatred of self and other women that look like me, what a lot of men don't realize they're fighting against, is because of the inner conflict and how the energy is playing out. So that being said, I learned how much healing that aspect of myself, that wounded aspect of what a mother was. Then also, Source also revealed to me that the feminine energy itself is reflected and mirrored through all peoples or persons. So this is where breaking the spell or delusion of what some people call racism, or what I like to call a hatred of self. So in that, a lot of which now is why I say I'm here to empower those, is that no one can tell you when you're at a place of loving yourself who and what it is and how you should be loved and receive love and who to love. Because I, even learning more about my grandmother and her experience with, some want to use the terms, I don't really get into terms of white and Caucasian, but a lot of things can't be ignored because this is some people's language. Some people still literally live in the 60s. Their mind is still programming on this. It's not a discredit or devalue these things, but I always give people this analogy. If we know the origins of everything, hey baby, what you need, baby? If we know the origins, what you need, baby? You gonna watch something on TV? One moment. What you wanna watch, baby? Papa doing a video. What you wanna watch, love? You wanna paint?
Mommy, paint. I'll paint.
You want to paint?
I'll paint.
Okay, baby. I got you. One moment. Let me set it up for you. Here we go. You want to get up here for me? So even with that, even with life right now, like I said, shout out to the empaths. Shout out to those who have done the inner work. And this is not to discredit anybody who hasn't and who will and come into this awareness. Let me tell you something. Through all of this, I realized my experiences is not like anyone else. Some of us are here to break the spell delusion of what racism actually even means. Or how some people, you can even say, like, you know, when you look at a rainbow, it has all colors. What would make it a rainbow? All the colors. And I remind people the origins of everything. When you mix all colors, of course it's dark. But I can attest that the Great Mother, the Divine Mother, has placed a lot of us here, especially myself, to break that illusion of what and how love should look. Because through this, what you want, baby? Blue? Through these moments, okay, let me get this right here for you. Through these moments, a lot of you are going to gravitate towards people, which whether it be a soulmate, and some of you are going to have to look, because everybody don't see this. Perception is interesting. A lot of people won't see past the flesh suit or the avatar or this body and be able to look inward and realize that it's the love, the force of love that unites us all. Oh, be careful, okay? All right? But because no one really knows your experience better than you. And again, even going back to how, like, my grandmother was telling me how I had a grandfather who was ran over and killed on a bicycle by people of a lighter shade, or what some may call Caucasian. Again, this is not to create division on anyone. This is not to divide and try to make people, any particular people, to be greater, more superior, or anything. This is simply about exposure and love. Whites, okay, baby. And even in that, when she told me about that, I can see, like, her, what color, love? Brown? Okay. I can see from her experiences what would keep her interactions from interacting with, you know, my partner or someone I co-created with, because of, again, imagery. A lot of what people not realizing, black, okay. What a lot of people are not realizing is that, you want red too, love? Okay. what a lot of people are not realizing is that so many people hold an image. As men hold the image of women, women also hold an image of a man, whatever they've experienced. And this is a reflection of the patriarchal experiences, and those could be of a wounded masculine. So this is what you see.
This is. This is there.
What's that, babe? Purple?
This is. This is.
What's that, baby?
This is.
Oh, paintbrush, yeah. Okay. Okay, let me get you some water, okay? Make sure you paint right here, all right? Oh, here, get some water right here, love. Okay. Anything else you need? Okay, here you go, paintbrush, okay? Okay, so that was wonderful. And yeah, shout out to the mothers and fathers. You are mother and father to everyone. Whomever come into your life, there are kids and people, even adults, doesn't really matter. They really never had that healthy version or a holistic version. This is why empaths and people who are in tune, healers, are so vital in this moment. Those who speak about mental health awareness and all those things, because as you can hear, you know, the beautiful princess, soon to be empress. You want me to paint too? Okay. The beautiful empress, you know, it's amazing how people, you know, we can do the inner work, and it doesn't just stop there. Like, your journey is really just beginning when you do, and those of you that will have the opportunity to bring forth life, and those of you that actually have, whether you're a teacher. Okay, that's a bird. That's beautiful. Oh, it is. Oh, it looks so wonderful. But
Like a baby.
a baby. Okay. But those of you that are, you know, have experienced these things, it's like, I give gratitude to the ones that just the resilience, because a lot of mothers and fathers, people, a child affects everyone, and a lot of us in the process of reclaiming that childhood innocence, it's very challenging, especially when you have co-created or, you know, done your best with, you know, whatever the partnership, how that development is happening. It really can be life-changing if you allow it. And not to mention breaking generational curses. What does that look like? It looks like not doing anything. Be careful, love. It looks like not doing anything that looks like what your mom and father done before you. We don't hear that enough. Generational curse breaking, or breaking generational chains, it can look very alienated, very outcast, very black sheepish, very what's the word we can use, love? It looks very what? Two? Okay. So it can just look very and I'll tell you from my own experiences, me loving my arts, me loving being a creator, me getting, not to mention getting out of that 9-to-5 mindset, getting out of more valuing who I am, teaching, reminding, you know, your seed, you know, something that you co-created. Ralph. Okay. Reminding her, you know, the princess, which is a reflection of the divine feminine and masculine, is even get into this place internally where, again, I haven't always been in this place. I had to see the distortion. Going back to breaking that whole illusion and spell of what racism is and what it, you know, how it creates division. You had to meet certain people. And it's not so much about color. it's also about nationality. It's also about what woundings is that person or what their experiences with their mother and or father. And how you're coming together, it doesn't look the same for everyone, in creating a whole new blueprint. We are simply bridges for the youth. Be careful, love. You need something else? What can I help you with? Blue? Okay, love. And being a bridge for that. Because a lot of, and not doing it to a detriment, because one thing I've learned even through this interaction is that forgiveness for myself, for my mother, father, they only had the tools that they could have used. But then I get to a place like I was meant to be and come into this power within to know how limitless I am. You know, no longer trying to convince the world of who I am, but I am that I am. That's beautiful. Ooh, you want to use purple? I feel like purple will look so good, but here you go. There you go. So in that, it's like I'm learning me. What's that, love? This green? Okay. In that, I'm learning a love language that I never experienced before. Purple? Purple? This one? This one? Okay. Here you go. You want to try this paintbrush?
White.
White? You got, okay, more white? Here you go, love. Got it? Which one? This one?
Yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
This one? Okay. Okay. There you go, love. Blue? Let me tell you, it's a challenge, but it's worth it. It's beautiful. Because what this does is it brings so much of where you're not healed and acknowledging certain things to where you're not projecting. But based on what you've experienced, that's where the healing comes from. Because my experience was a lot of verbal abuse to where now the purple right there, love. You got the purple right here. You got the blue. You got the green, the blue. Here goes blue. Yeah, blue. And that's pink. That's red. Yeah, that's blue. You want some more orange? So again, in that, I'm learning to even get to this experience. There's a love that I had to get within myself to even express or reciprocate a healthy, holistic exchange. I wasn't always here. I had to do the inner work, the shadow work, to really look at myself and see everyone else as an aspect of myself. If I see a reflection innocently, it takes a lot to even forgive all of what I have went through with matriarchally, and even meeting her beautiful mother and realizing the importance of how and why it is we met. See, that's the thing that was truly amazing about the divine, is that everyone talks about this healing and parades this spiritual journey and all like that, but they don't talk about a lot of stuff, you okay? That when you're trying to reclaim and pull back the fragments and all of those aspects of yourself that was spread out sporadically through people, family, through childhood woundings, through so many things that were left, around the world that you're now trying to reclaim and call back to yourself. And in the process of that, you're trying to live life. You're trying to make sense of, your whole value system change. It's not about money no more. It's not about gaining all these things. You want some raisins? There you go, baby. It gonna make you poopy. Yo, it gonna make you poop poop. Yeah. So, again, yeah. Papa doing the video, okay? I love that. That's beautiful. You need some more paintbrushes? Yes. Okay. Hmm. Here you go. There you go, love. I'm putting them right here, okay? Thank you. So, let me just say this. I am honored and grateful. I had to get to this place where I am honored and grateful to experience the love within myself and be able to have that reciprocated. Be careful. And again, that's why I give a shout out to those that are so consistent through this, man, and not. This ain't about putting on a show. It ain't no pretending. Authenticity, truth, and love is the highest vibration. And so, think about that of a child. Like, they only know to be themselves until they see otherwise. So, again, from my experience, even meeting her mother, it's like it was very life changing. A lot for me had to be, a lot of things came up. Oh my gosh, through the whole process of a lot of my childhood wounds, how I felt towards all women. Yellow? Okay, baby. How I felt towards. Oh, you got it? Here you go. I'm gonna put something right there. There you go. How I felt towards all women. Because I had to heal that aspect of myself and not even want to get tripped myself on why it is I shouldn't love myself, her mother, no matter what background, no matter what culture, does that keep me from loving me and loving my princess?
Yeah.
Does my journey supposed to look like yours? Not at all. Am I supposed to convince you? Not at all. Does everyone have it together? Not at all. We're all learning through this. Not to mention unlearning. We're relearning. And loving ourselves through this. So it's really like now I'm in legacy mode. I can be authentic. That's beautiful, love. We're going to hang that up when you finish. Okay? So not only am I the greatest artist, I remind her she's the greatest artist. You're the greatest artist in the world. You know what I'm saying? You funny. You funny. I love you too. You want yellow? So a lot of things, again, it takes a lot of courage to even speak about these things on these platforms. It's not about convincing people. You want red? Okay. It's not about convincing people. It's just the shout out to people who come from different cultures and creeds. No one can tell you who to love. No one can tell you really how this journey is supposed to look. Would you have told me years ago that I would have met someone or met anyone and, having to go through these experiences? No, I don't. I'm not ashamed. I don't have no regrets. It's yellow right there, love. Yeah, that's beautiful. And just, again, it's shout out to the healers. Those of you that are really, truly the ones that have did the inner work and, know that, or in the process, is that the greater of all this is love. And so that's going to look different for everyone. Like I said, I'm here to do something that no one in my family, no one has the courage to do. Oh, you drawing a heart? What is that? Okay. So, again, it's so much. Even the mental. I bring this to her. What is the mental? You hungry? Okay. What would you like? Did you eat all your food in there? You want some soup and some crackers? What would you like, love? Who? You gonna go get it? Okay, come on, I'll help you down. Okay. Okay, love. But again, it's just like, a lot of which had brought a lot of awareness to my own inner healing and wounding, and with the feminine aspect, to where now I'm able to speak about, you know, the love. Okay. Thank you, baby. You want to watch something in there? Okay. One moment. Mm-hmm. We're going to go to the park in a little bit, okay? I'm doing the work. You'll be home later, okay? Which one you want to watch, baby? Ooh, this one looks good right here. Want that one? There you go. Okay, Papa, go. Daddy going here, okay? Alright, okay, here I am. So again, I know y'all like my shade. I'm gonna put them back on there. Fly. So again, where was I at? Shout out to the empaths. Shout out to the healers. Shout out to the herbalists. Shout out to those that are truly breaking generational curses, and not in this bull BS. You are the currency. You are the spiritual currency. That means it's in you, not on you. It took a lot for me to even get to this place to even again talk about how, you know, how no one believed in you. No one cared. They cast you aside and told you that you weren't this and this and that. But that was only simply preparation for your purpose. You already been walking in your destiny by simply choosing yourself, by simply choosing peace, by simply choosing love, by simply just honoring your divine truth. Because that didn't supposed to look like anything else in your family. Because it honestly went against the norm. It went against everything that was supposed to look like what they went through, which was trauma bonding and their own selfish attachments. So shout out to all of us. The ones that are still daily. They're not supposed to get this. It's not for them to, the vision wasn't given to them. So in that, and sharing this with you all, it's like I've learned a greater love within myself that is limitless. My value is beyond, having doing the inner work. The Most High revealed to me, Source revealed to me that true spiritual currency is not only your value within, having nothing to really do with material, the material realm of the earth, is more so of what you in your essence came to usher in, to destroy the old narrative of what something looked like, and you being recreating, you being that grid worker, you being the one who bringing that love. Oh, you're so beautiful. I love your wings. You're like a little fairy. I love your wings. So in that, again, you are the unbelievable story. Yes, you. You are the one that everyone is chosen in a way, but you chose to change, to evolve. You chose to evolve. And in that, you are willing to have gone through the sleepless nights. And I don't mean purposefully. I'm talking about breaking the spell of survival mode. Those nights where you have to cry yourself. Those nights, to sleep. Those nights, you had to, as a mother or father or as simply a teenager, wherever you are, where you felt you didn't exist in this place. Where you felt hopeless. Where you didn't have the money to eat. When you didn't have, whatever it is that you were needing at the time, but some way, somehow, your immovable faith. You were like that of a tree that was rooted. Didn't know how you were going to be nourished or how you were going to be watered, but somehow, some way, it's you. Yes, you. The Most High Source was telling me again, the spiritual currency thing. Some of our spiritual inheritance and currency, the inheritance, is that of a healthy dynamic. Yes, I'm going to say it again. For some of us, a healthy dynamic and environment, and or to create a healthy community, and or that of creating foods, being plant-based, going away from, alcoholism or drug abuse, no longer, breaking that spell of self-abuse. Your spiritual inheritance and currency can be that of simply teaching your lineage as a leader, because you were once a follower following the wounded, and now you are the holistic one. You are the new leader being pushed to the forefront. You had to see the woundings in the dark. You had to see the inner wounds while the world was focused on your outer wounds. You had to see the inner wounds within you to that your lineage or certain people were afraid to see. Be careful, baby, okay? All right? You had to see the inner wounds while the world preyed on your childhood wounds, while other people preyed, tried to suck you dry, vampirely, or whatever you want to say, of your sacred energy. Okay, baby. Let me see. What can I give you right now? You want some? Oh, I know I can give you. One moment. Again. Here you go, baby. I'm gonna make that for you, okay? Here you go, baby. You come back to paint? Be careful. Go ahead, you got it. Here you go. Here you go, baby. You got some juice? But again, okay, so it's you. And I'm having to see this, how the divine feminine mother has shown me as a reflection of the patriarchal, why it is I had to learn those woundings. Is it because I'm supposed to emit, my blueprint is to recreate a belief system centered around, because some of us hold that energy. You got yellow right here, baby. Hold that energy of the divine father and mother, because we also carry the distorted mother and father. And so in that energy and how it played out, this is how we're able to recognize those who are wounded, or those that have went through immense childhood traumas and experiences, and we're able to relate, because everyone's at different levels. So your perception, or the things that you experience, are completely different than mine, but Source, the creator, in somehow, some way, it is connected. It can connect us. It's like that of a water. You are a droplet, I'm a droplet. Some way, somehow, through stream, river, creeks, it finds its way back to the ocean. So in that, this is what a lot of us are experiencing, transmuting, clearing karmically now to prepare for a dharma path, a dharmic path, a path full of harmony. This is what a lot of our spiritual inheritance is. It's just simply for our lineage have a peace of mind to live. That's what abundance and prosperity and wealth could look like spiritually. Is to be in a place where you can wake up, be in an environment. I got you, baby. Be in an environment where, you've done so much immense healing to where, you're emotionally in tune. I didn't have a lot of men that were emotionally stable, secure. So for me to even become and obtain stability mentally, spiritually, physically, in the physical or in the physical realm or material realm, a lot of which I had to accept that a lot of how that played out is because I had to learn and clear the emotional imbalances to create spiritually, to create emotional stability for my lineage, security, emotional security. So how does that look? When my princess or, I'm interacting with a feminine or a sister or someone, I'm able to recognize and feel as an empath or pick up on what they're experiencing. Here you go, baby. You want to use this paper? I'm able to pick up on, the energy or the woundings or the childhood woundings or certain things that hasn't been acknowledged. It's not to say I'm pointing out or, it's just because of how much I have acknowledged and witnessed and experienced through the wounds to the depths of what I seen women like me went through, and then also connected to women that may not look like me. So in that, it also helps me bridge, build, help those women build to see, men and women to help build that division. And in reality, separation is the biggest illusion. So the division really is within ourselves. And in doing that inner work, that's where the oneness comes in. It's seeing how all things are created and how all things are connected. So the beauty of all of it is that, again, having to see what I went through and seeing what I was carrying emotionally, spiritually, and through my own lineage, if everything began with the matriarchal, I must realize that also everything from the darkness give birth to the light. So if the patriarchal and the masculine is a representation or reflection of the feminine, dark and light, yin and yang, I must acknowledge, and this is what, for a lot of women and men, especially our women, is that if the matriarchal was the beginning of all things, mama and the feminine energy, this is what the return through both matriarchal and come on, baby, through matriarchal and patriarchal, that feminine energy is returning through certain vessels. So in that, you will see the divine feminine face be revealed. And that gives birth to the divine masculine. Those of us that acknowledge, like I tell people, what are you doing in there, babe? I'm going to acknowledge, I love your wings. Going to acknowledge and hold not only myself accountable, but to remind our women and men, like, look, that's not cool. Especially if we're healing and seeing how important healers are going to be now, those who have acknowledged mental, the mental illness and the mental health crisis because of so much of the identity crisis, because of what we were told we should be, when in reality, we all have been affected by the distorted mother and father, societally, governmentally, culturally, to what it is a woman and man should be. Yeah. And so in that, this is why you're seeing a lot of shadow work, a lot of stuff coming up in the mental. You did? You made that? That's beautiful.
I
You did that too?
did.
Oh, Ari did that. Okay.
Made that.
Yeah. Good job. That's wonderful. Give me 5.
I got
Yeah. So, you want color?
it.
Go ahead. You got the crayons in there? Okay. Let me know if you need my help, okay? So in that, again, let me take these off. So in that, I'm displaying having to acknowledge the healing and the distortion and the imbalance within myself. Now having to display a love, because it doesn't just end with, the healing journey is never ending. This is a process daily. Self-care, self-love is a process daily, just to simply get up. Yes, love. You want paper? Okay, baby. Come on. Right there. So again, in that, I'm learning so much of, oh my gosh, like even with this, it's like, because it's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna see if y'all gonna catch this. Ancestrally, let me make it. The princess is not just a princess. In doing the inner work and healing, she has all of her eggs that she will have in that for her lifetime. Meaning that ancestrally, she is still a little girl, but ancestrally, she is a mother, a grandmother, a great grandmother, so I'm trying to get y'all to see psychologically, spiritually, ancestrally, how freaking fucking powerful this is. It's an honor to know that, and I'm expressing to y'all to have done the inner work, to realize like your journey's not in vain. It's a process daily to love aspects of yourself. It's not gonna come all together at once. Because in learning yourself, relearning yourself, a lot of us as empaths or people that have went through a spiritual awakening or ascension, a lot of us, I know my journey was kind of like a lone wolf in a way, because I will always be out in the woods. I will always be walking alone or doing certain stuff. But I learned more that I was divinely guided and spiritually guided, because I knew myself at that moment to have had that courage. I knew I had a spiritual connection, that was something protecting me. And so in that, being more in a secure place, I'm able to share with you all that there's something greater that's divinely orchestrating this. It's a lot of our responsibilities as healers or people that are coming into this knowledge that with all the distortion, with all the wickedness, with all the unrighteousness that has went on, we have also been observers of this. So in that free will and that responsibility, we are also responsible for ourselves and for the youth that is needing that holistic way, or just simply needing that reaffirming that you too can get through this. You too are amazing. You are brilliant. You are advanced. And this can be very challenging because a lot of us don't know what that look like, because so much stuff has been on a physical, in a more material plane, when now the Aquarian age is teaching us more to go within ourselves. Teaching us to rise from that lower chakra, because everything has been perverted through sex, through the manipulation of mind. So many things that I can go on. And this is why the focus is getting the kids while they're young. Then now, as doing that internal work and learning more about yourself and how limitless you are, you regain, let me get this masterpiece. You regain those codes, that imagination, that connection to source. that was always within you. Got another one. You regain those ancient codes. Shout out to the amazing artist, the beautiful divine being that created this. You regain those codes. And through everything you're doing, you'd be surprised how much what's being revealed to you is actually a connection to source, or something reconnecting you to source, something connecting you to your ancestors. Again, it's the amazement of me coming into this awareness, like the princess is like, and I had to learn not to just beat myself up trying to do with anyone, because a lot of what we have learned is so much of trying to fulfill others or trying to people please. And in that, coming into the inner knowing, you realize that in being, simply being yourself, as you reconnect to your emotional body, your emotions, and all those things surfacing, you realize how much emotionally intelligent you become, how mentally, spiritually, physically, all these things are connected. And in that, you see how much you are loved by Source, the Creator, and more so how much you have this immense amount, unmeasurable amount of love within, and how you are Source, the Creator, some may say God, having this experience. How freaking amazing is that? Because when you look at little people, they look up to you. They're looking literally up to you, seeing like this giant person. Everything in their world is not centered around what we perceive as valuable. See, Source wants us to reconnect with ourselves to see the purity to what they also see, how sensitive they have also been, and how affected they also are by not only the world around them, but how also they too are connected to that source or that connection within, that through the distortion or through, parental control, just so many things that have tried to keep them from being. Because the most authentic creature being on this world, in this realm, is starseed, a child. They only know to be. They are powerful. Every moment I see, and I'm learning even from my princess, it's like if you sit there and become more aware, they will show you everything. I put out colors for her, and she'll get the paintbrush, dab every color, mix every color. She'll mix every color, and it's like reminding me, like, okay, the origins of everything, when you mix every color, it's dark, but all of those colors still have their place, their significance, their purpose. This is to all of you, your culture, no matter where you are in life. You still have a purpose, no matter where you are. And in that purpose, you are here to help aid in fulfilling the bigger picture, the grand scheme of it all. She'll do something like this right here. Let's see if I can turn this around. She'll mix every color, but look at this. And it's the beauty in that. It's the beauty in knowing, like, how much it's teaching me as a reflection of the feminine and masculine. It's like, one thing about the feminine to show you that, who are we to question the feminine? Because the feminine is ever changing. It's like that of nature, the water is ever changing. Ever changing. The masculine is like that of, what we see in the physical. It's like, you're able to see me, or it's like the light, or, but in reality, it's like, how I perceive it, it's like the feminine is like something that we're all ever changing. And I think about when we look at how everything connects to the matriarchal, the darkness, the woundedness, and how all things were created from that. Now bring that to the forefront when you see in the physical. How many have been affected, how, in the physical, from keeping things, not really walking in their truth. You know how that shows up in your body? You know how that shows up in your reality? You know how that shows up in the world? Because they're so disconnected from love. And in that love, they're not honoring the confrontation, the chaos that comes with that. It's not always, you can look at me like, oh my God, he's the external, but internal, through the darkness and honoring the feminine, the ancient mothers, the mothers that came before me, everything isn't sweet and peaches and cream. There's a polarity to things. And I see that, and I've learned it so much with women. It's amazing because it's just as much. I see the softest when women talk about being soft. Yeah, you can be soft and delicate, but it's like that of a rose. You have to be gentle, but you also have to be cautious. It's like I was telling someone. Who did I tell this to? It's like when I met you, you don't realize. We went to a trip. We was in a boat. And man, I'm gonna let y'all in on the secret. When you're meeting the woman, when you're talking about the divine mother, look at everything around you. That's how greater and expansive feminine energy is when you look at the masculine. They're both serve their purposes. Like it's like one and the same, but at the greatness of what you see physically is like that. I feel like couldn't even put a greater in the feminine aspect. But what I was getting to is like I was expressing to someone, I was like, when I met you, it's like a man been in a boat. So I'm gonna let y'all in on the secret, man. Imagine yourself you're just drifting along. The woman is like that uncontrollable storm, but it's a perfect storm. You're in the middle of the ocean and you're trying to navigate these waters, navigate her waters. You're trying to find peace. See, the beauty of that is that in learning from the woman, the feminine aspect, and this is where I had to get within, in learning the distortion, the chaos, the darkness of what I went through with the women that I've experienced connections with, relationships, I had to learn to be the peace.
Daddy.
Yes, love.
Hey, Mom.
I'm here at work, okay? She gonna come back a little later, all right? Again, in that, how could I say this? Yeah, okay. In that navigating the waters, it's like the woman, like her hurricane. It's like learning to be the eye in the storm. When you meet a woman or you come across a woman, and it can be different. You have people who are working through their shadow, which is like unhealed. Not that they're not healing, but you have women who are evolved and more mature. And this is in both women and men. But again, you will see a difference in a storm that people that haven't made peace with their storm, and those who have evolved and have made peace with what they've experienced. Yes, love. Who haven't made peace, but now those that have made peace are able to see not only themselves but have compassion for those who haven't. So that's the same as with being representing and coming into this awareness, being a divine, not getting so caught up in the title, but a reflection of the divine masculine is like that of honoring what the feminine is and what it isn't. Because the distortion, I had to see how the men treated the women in my family. And in that, I didn't have great examples. Do I judge them? No. But then when I look at the root cause of that, when I look at their relationship with their mothers, how emotionally unavailable, how their mothers had probably went through drugs, how there wasn't really a connection. There was a connection there spiritually, but that wasn't a connection there physically. So that helped me become more aware of seeing how people haven't made peace with what they've experienced. So in that, it allows me to realize to how to interact and exchange and become more aware and be more protective of my energy and honoring who I am and being, and then it's not so much guarding, it's more so being in tune will allow you to know that honoring the feminine is like I reflect that storm, but I'm also the eye in that storm that reminds me the peace, that masculine aspect. So in that perfect storm, when you're meeting a woman, you're meeting everything. That storm is a representation of the little girl that she was, whatever she's raging war with inside. The little girl that has went through and whatever her experiences is with her father, her mother, the women's, did they reflect a love that was nurturing? A father that did he really give her that protection and ground her in ways to where was she rooted in a self-love? So again, that's what allows me to have grace and compassion within myself and for others, because I had to realize like, whoa, when you look at the seed, that reflects what the mother. That's why a lot of what mama represents, she connects us all on a soul level. That we're seeing how we're all connected, but it's also showing us that if one thing, wounding connects us, pain, but also what can we gain from this? So again, when meeting women, wherever they are mentally, spiritually, physically, you will hear how they talk. And how they talk is really a reflection of how they feel about themselves. How they talk about men is a reflection of how whatever their experiences have been with men. How they speak about other women is also a reflection. And this goes both ways for men and women. However people are speaking, again, what's in the heart comes out of the mouth. So this is why you see a lot of, we're in Leo season now, is that a lot of things is how you see people play out energy, their actions can represent shadow or an evolved aspect. That's why you can have a Leo, then a Leo, but one can be unevolved or working through their shadow or trying or healing, going through a dark night of the soul, and one could be more evolved where they're speaking, and this energy can operate differently for everyone. So this energy can operate differently for everyone. And that's why I'm realizing how in my interactions with my princess, how I am here, hey baby, how I am here to remind her that there are men that love internally, and me coming into my awareness of what I witnessed with a distortion of, the mothers, having to let that go. And that's another thing, having to cut cords, emotional attachment to the idea of what my mother did and my grandmother and other women. Let that go to be able to show up for myself and reciprocate that with her, to show her that your value. And this is what a lot of us men and women are going through, especially a lot of women getting a lot of womb healing, is that a lot of us are getting so much downloads in things right now to where a lot of things are purging, and we're speaking about it, and then going through a lot of forgiveness for ourselves, for allowing ourselves to go through these things, to have more compassion, and hey baby, and have for forgiveness for others. Okay, I'm gonna put your wings on here. So have more forgiveness for others. I want to put you on camera, baby. Not yet, okay? We're gonna make a debut real soon. But and in that again, it's like showing her a love again. I had to, and this is what self-care and self-love is. Like, I gotta show it for me. I gotta take a moment for me and show her, and valuing that, because this is what a lot of what we're implement, like recreating, but showing the balance. A holistic love is a balanced love. That meaning like balance both feminine and masculine. Like, I gotta show it for me, do things for me, and then reciprocate that with her, and honoring that, and and also honoring those boundaries. A lot of us are now learning. You hungry, baby? Okay, I'm finna end this video because what the princess says go. But again, in that, a lot of us, you know, we see this, we get too caught up in what this thing adult is, but really, we're really here to play. We're really here to have fun. And in reality, they are the ones who are really running the show. You got to really look at the ones who are trying to keep children or people from, the kids from really expressing and being who they are. This is a part of what the healing is showing us as empaths, as those, you know, who really know in the oneness and the reconnecting with source, is that it's clearing those outdated energies and coming to that place of really expressing ourselves, you know, in an authentic way. You know, the things that we felt that was stolen and robbed from us when we were younger, only to reclaim that fragment. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show them it, okay? Okay? You better know it. That's beautiful. Codes. Okay, here you go, baby. We're gonna fix you something to eat, okay? So, in all of this, I'll probably continue to do another video. But remember, I had to learn this when I was young by an elder. Don't ever beat yourself up. We've been beat up so long, mentally, spiritually, verbally, physically, like a lot of us. Yes, you're going to be talked about. Once you start changing and really rising at a level of awareness consciously and start really acting out and really seeing yourself, when you reclaim your innocence, you become innocent into your essence, because a lot of what you acted out was a distortion, was programming, was your mother's and father's fears, with things that, again, now you're becoming aware of, like your effed up ways, like your accountability. That's why honoring self-love and being and honoring self is also acknowledging and knowing thyself and showing thyself approved. So in that, it's also the importance of showing up for you to where you're able to show up for others. It's been in the opposite way. So now we're able to show up for self and then partner up. You know, that partnership begins with self, spirit, and the physical. So I love you all. Peace and blessings. Shalom. We love you. Peace.